Hi, Madison.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. So, Year Nines, hi if you're watching this. So, Belinda and Rachel have asked us to record interviews with people with jobs that you might like to explore in the future. And so I've asked my sister Madison, who's going to talk a little bit about her career and how she got there, for you to maybe think of some questions about what you want to do in the future and how you might get there. So, Madison, hi, how are you?
Hi, good, how are you? How are you
doing? So Madison, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? So how old are you and what do you do as a job?
Yeah, so I am currently 25 years old, turning 26 soon. I am a senior therapist at a luxurious skin clinic in Toorak. And I've been in the job for about 6.5 years now.
Awesome. So that clears up my next question, which is what is your role? But could you tell us a little bit about what your responsibilities are as a beauty therapist?
Of course. So as a beauty therapist, my main roles include services. So anywhere from waxing, tinting, eyelash extensions, facials, and I also get to play with some of the machines, so microdermabrasion. We have laser hair removal, IPL. We're more of a skin clinic here, which is really good, where we can actually change people's lives if they come in with different skin issues and things like that. We can definitely help them, and we've actually just gotten a couple of new machines in which help with muscle tightening, and so we're venturing into some new fields there, which is good.
Well, I remember when you were at uni for your current job, you were talking about how there were different paths that you could take with beauty therapy. So do you want to just talk to me a little bit about what those paths were? Because it's not just all like facials and waxing.
No. And that's the thing. So there's all different sides of the beauty industry. And of course, it's always growing, which is good. So there's all different pathways you can take. So when you first do a university or a TAFE course, you can do anywhere from like certs all the way to diplomas, and then you can do advanced diplomas and maybe even some degrees as well. So you start off with maybe a beauty therapy course that can go from anywhere from half a year to a year to a year and a half to go more down the beauty side. Then you can do a course after that, which is for dermal therapies, and that's about 3 years, where you can then do IPL, hair removal, and basically play with lasers and really go deep into the skin and work out issues, which is really good. Then we have different options where you can go down more the spa path, so holistic, salt scrubs, massages, and things like that. Otherwise, you can specialize in makeup. If you end up working somewhere, you could do a variety, but you'll find yourself what you really like to do as well, whether you like doing the more spa side and taking care of people, or if you really want to help to treat some issues, you can go down the dermal side. And currently what I'm actually doing is I'm doing a training and assessments course so that I can then teach beauty therapy in the future as well. So you can also go into education as well after that.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. I know that like with some industries, it's very like you'll do the same thing perhaps for years and years on end, whereas your industry there is different pathways to pursue your interests, but also there is upskilling and education and training to go down different routes. And you were saying like you might go into it as beauty as a therapeutic thing, or you might go into it as a relaxation thing. So you can change.
It just depends on your pathway and what you like. So when I first started out, I really liked, taking care of people and doing that whole thing, like doing the eyebrow wax, and I still like doing that. But as I kept growing and I moved to a different beauty therapist clinics and things like that, I learned I actually wanted to go into education, which was really good. But also, depending on the different machinery that we got in, I really wanted to get up in that. So it's sort of like as you grow and get your clients and work out different things and see what's out there, then you really get to knowing what you like yourself.
Yeah. because I remember when you were in uni that you were more interested in sort of that beauty aspect of it. You'd always had an interest in like makeup and nails and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But then, no. I always remember mum saying...
No. I was just about to say, you remember me locking myself away on a Saturday night or something like that, doing my makeup. I would do so many different ideas. She would be my model as well. And I really loved doing makeup.
Yeah, mum would always say, like, if doing your nails was a VCE subject, Madison would have got like 100% across the board. But what I was about to say is I remember when you were in uni and you were learning how to do all this stuff and you had to learn about anatomy, because obviously that's a very important part of massage.
Yeah.
And you were saying, oh my gosh, I never knew that I enjoyed science. So you discovered a whole different new thing. And
my favorite subject at uni was actually cosmetic science. So we actually got to make lipsticks, we made body creams, we made all different stuff. So I've always loved the science aspect of it and the body and anatomy. And that's the thing, like you can choose to, just do makeup and things like that. And there are different courses out there, or what I really wanted to say was beauty can be whatever you want it to be or whatever you want out of it. So it's not just about, doing makeup or painting nails or rubbing faces for facials and things like that. They're like, I don't want you to think of it more as a job, but as a career where you can branch off into so many different things. You can own a business, manage a business. It's not just about being pretty and stuff like that. It's if you have an analytical science brain, and those are the subjects that I took at school.
Let's talk, because my next question is about that, but I know, I lived with you for like 24 years. But like, I remember when you were in school, would you have considered yourself like an academically inclined person? Would you consider yourself as someone that was more socially inclined? Like, how were you let's go from like year 10 to year 12 as a student?
Yeah, so more with the VCE subjects and things like that. I will say that during school, look, I know that I wouldn't necessarily say I have learning difficulties, but I do at the same time, because some information I just can't retain. And I found for me studying online is quite hard. So for me, sometimes retaining information or getting information was really hard. So school-wise, I was getting okay grades and things like that, but I wasn't trying as hard as I could. It was more, socially, I was like, yes, friends, going over to friends' house and stuff like that. But then, so in terms of that, but then I sort of tried to knuckle down a little bit more in year 12, because I did really want to do well, at least try well for myself, even though I didn't even need an ATAR score for what I was going into, but it was more for myself to prove, yes, I can do it. And I actually, got a really good score, which was okay.
Yeah, I think what I wanted to highlight, because something that I want people to not necessarily think in the mindset of that you need a score. There are plenty of courses out there where you don't need a score, and even if you do, there are ways into it. But as I said, and I say this out of love, Madison was not necessarily the most academically inclined person on the face of the planet.
No, sorry. My tutor was my sister, and who helped me with all my resumes?
Okay.
Sorry. But no, I'm not academically inclined at all, ironically.
What? So in VCE, so just for year 9s, this isn't something that you've had to think about before. You guys have chosen electives, but you will need to choose subjects, like all your subjects except English, going into year 11 and 12. Some of you might even be doing a VCE subject next year. Madison, when you chose your VCE subjects, did you pick them because you were interested in them, or did you pick them because you had a career path in mind?
I didn't even know I wanted to do beauty until probably halfway through year 11, to be honest, when my mum was like, you've got to pick something. Why don't you do beauty? I swear it was just so that I could do stuff on her, but I was always that way inclined anyway, so I may as well make some money out of it.
Yeah.
In terms of picking subjects, I was always interested in the sciences, which was good, but I did things like studio arts, I did music, normal math,
You did health,
which was fine. I did health and human development and biology as well,
English language,
which I really enjoyed. English language as well. So that's what I mean. I sort of tossed it up. No sports. I'm allergic to sports.
Runs in the family.
So that's what I mean. Like I picked a few different things, but because I was already interested in the body, and that's why I did biology, and I really, really liked it.
Yeah. So once you left school and can you talk about your process after you left school and you got into university, where you went and how long that lasted for?
So I went to Victoria University. It started basically, when did I finish year 12? Was it like end of November or something like that?
I think.
You get your ATAR score and whatnot. It doesn't really matter too much because going to Victoria University, you apply. Theirs is quite an intense, not too intense of a process.
They just want a lot of
but
stuff.
You go in and you interview, and it's not necessarily like they interview you about sort of what subjects and what you want out of it. And I really enjoyed the fact that they took the time out and sort of like it was very serious, which made it feel very serious. And going to that school was really good and inclusive. I did have a couple of interviews at other places, and as soon as I walked in, they were like, "We want you. Yes, you're in," without really saying anything. And I'm like, they don't know me. I'm just like, oh, it's sort of pay the money and you're in. You want to go to a place that you really sort of like feel like it's not just anyone can go. And there was a Masters Institute of Education and Creative Design where they do fashion, makeup, beauty, and hairdressing, which is really good. I've looked into them, and apparently they're really, really well known and really good as well. So after that, they contacted me, and I was lucky enough to get a place.
And how long did that first course go for? It was a year, wasn't it?
So the course was 5 days a week for a year. So that was full time, and you can choose to do, I'm not sure at uni it was an option. Different places do different things, part-time and 3 days a week for a year and a half, but I just wanted it over and done with. And it was about 9 to 4 every day.
Yeah. The other thing was, so this would be applicable to you guys as Year 9 students living in, well, we don't live as far out as Madison and I lived, but this may be something that you have to think about pursuing your career, is that we lived about 2.5 hours out of the city. So Madison, how did you get to uni every day in the city?
Oh, so I caught the 6:22 a.m. train. 6:22 every day up to the city, and then I would get the 4:41 train home. That's how sad it is that I remember that still.
But it's insane.
So I would get home until, 12-hour days, but it was over and done with within a year.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, like you guys living where you are, there are a lot more options, and it'd be a bit easier for you.
Even so, we live about 40, I mean, if we're talking Mola, we're about 40 minutes out of the city. So even then, for some courses, people might consider travel or moving. So that's something you need to keep in mind too, is traveling.
And it just depends where you want to go, weighing it up and stuff like that. Like we had our local place down there that I went to. But I think, but at the same time, like all my beauty therapists that I've ever had, had gone to Vic Uni, and I knew that it was really reputable. And so many of these people had jobs out of it, and I'm like, nah, I want to go there.
Yeah.
So I was willing to make the sacrifice. It just depends.
Yeah. So we've talked a bit about your uni experience. We've talked about the fact that you are currently also studying, and that there are hundreds of options in terms of what you pursue. In your current role, is this the first job that you got out of uni, or did you work other places?
No, so I did work other places. Currently, not currently, but before I was working at Kmart while I was doing my course, good old first time job. And then I worked locally down in Morwell for about 2 years. Then I moved clinic to Traralgon, which was our hometown. That was only for about 3 months, and unfortunately they shut down. Then I made the change and came to Melbourne, moved to St Kilda, and I started working at a clinic on Chapel Street. Unfortunately, that shut down 3 weeks after I started there. And then I moved to the where I am now at Lavish Skin and Body. And I've been here for 3.5 years. And considering I've moved from St Kilda to Sunshine to now I live in Geelong and I'm doing a 2-hour commute on the train every day, I must say that I'm glad I'm still here.
In saying that, so you choose to commute because you enjoy where you're working.
I love my job.
Yeah, you love your job. And I think that's really important for you guys to understand is that if you find a job that you really enjoy in an industry that you really enjoy, you are willing to make commitments to it in that sort of way. Which leads me into my next question is, in your industry, you've talked a lot about the different fields. Are there lots of employment opportunities?
Oh, yes, definitely. Currently in COVID, it's a little bit hard because our services have been suspended, but
let's pretend we're in post-COVID times.
Employment opportunities, yes, there are a lot. So it's a bit hard sometimes coming first out of uni. I was lucky enough to actually get 4 offers coming straight out of uni. So therapists either want to get you straight away because you've basically haven't been touched by any other place and they want to mold you to exactly how they want you, which is really, really good. So employment opportunities are really good, and especially around Christmas time, people are always looking for extra people, and you've just got to really work to show them that you're there, and they'll put so much time and effort into you, which is good.
And you always talk about racing season.
Oh my gosh, racing season.
Is that going to happen this year? We don't know. But I was also going to say, on the job, once you've got a job, you were talking about being fresh and being able to change them. Is there a lot of on-the-job training with equipment? I know you work with a lot of equipment.
So much.
Yeah.
So much. So depending on the clinic that you are at, and that's what I mean, if you are not happy and you're not getting what you want out of that job, you can always move on, but you've got to find where you're really happy and they're putting the time and effort. So say with our product lines at the moment, every 6 months we do basically a refresh course when new things come out. We always do things online. We go to Keysborough and do training days. We have people coming from Lethbridge, our reps coming in and doing heaps of training. Our machinery, we've just got 2 machines in. People are always sort of coming in. You're always upskilling. And because we've actually done a refurb at the moment, we're in the process of restructuring our protocols. So I'm having a hand in that, which is really good. But there's a lot of on-the-job training, which makes things really good. And especially when you first come into a job, you'll do a trades test. And if you pass the trades test, then you'll work one-on-one with the therapist to really make sure that you hone your skills. Because I can tell you, if you work hard, it's the clients that just keep coming back to you, you'll have a really, really good career out of it.
Okay, can we pause for a sec? I've got to get my charger.
Okay.
Hang on. Resuming recording. Sorry, I forgot my phone. I can snip this out though. So, my next question was, what aspects of your job do you enjoy?
I love the client aspect of it. So I love being able to communicate, and we get a whole range of different people coming in, which is amazing. Finding out what they do and just having that real close relationship with them that they want to keep coming back. I love learning. I know that sounds so dorky and silly, but I hated school. And now it's like coming out here and doing what I love. I'm just like, I love learning. I love doing new things.
And it's so weird to hear you say that, because I just remember in school, like, I hate school.
I was not school orientated at all. But now coming out, and I think because I enjoy all this sort of stuff, I love learning all the new machinery, and like the skin is really, really interesting. So,
and then I think something I want to highlight with this job is you have to be good with people and you have to be good at talking.
Because look, the thing is, like, you could be mediocre at your job, but it's your attitude and your atmosphere that really draws people in. Which is like, I used to be so shy, but like when I actually get quite anxious sometimes, but when I'm at work and I have people coming in, I'm like a whole nother person, which is really good.
Would you say that is part of sort of security in your industry, is having good communication skills and having people specifically asking for you?
Yes, definitely.
One of my final questions is, what aspects of your job are challenging?
So the aspects of my job are challenging is sometimes communication between team members and or different and difficult clients. But you've just got to sort of take a deep breath and breathe.
Smile.
Because even though someone may be coming in and the client is right, you've just got to sort of say, look, I am the educator and basically I am a therapist, you're coming in to see me. They may not want home care products, but if they want their skin to change, then that's what you've got to do. So in that sort of aspect it is. Otherwise, just, nothing else really.
Cleaning the room.
I'm not saying it's easy, but it's good. Sometimes it's just time preparation as well, because I am quite fully booked out. If I don't have enough time or if somebody's running late, that can be quite difficult to sort of like keep myself up.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just you working all day on a client. You have to clean the room in between. You might be selling products. You might be at the register. Like, it's constantly changing.
That's it.
Yeah. That's all my questions. Did you have any final imparting knowledge or anything to say, or are you good?
No, I just want people to really realize that this isn't just a little job sort of a thing. Like, it is a career and you can go really, really far in it, basically. Look, you can make it into just being pretty and painting faces and nails and things like that. But if you are interested in more like scientific stuff, there's a lot out there that you can do with it.
Yeah.
Yes. Otherwise, I think that's everything.
I think that's everything. If there's anything else, I'll ask.
But if there are anything like questions or anything, they can definitely ask me those questions if they want, Chloe.
Yes, if you want any information about the really cool machines that Madison uses, I tell you, there's nothing more sinister than your sister offering to do laser on you. For those of you with siblings. But I definitely can ask Madison to show us some of her very cool equipment. Otherwise, thank you so much for being my interviewee.
Otherwise, even if they're interested and they want sort of anywhere to go, the Masters Institute of Education.
Exactly. Alrighty. Bye, Madison. I'm going to start recording now.